Welcome inside the Next One studio. Colin Brown with you this afternoon. Pleasured to be with a Wake Forest, or the newest member of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, Daivien Williamson this afternoon. Daivien, first and foremost, how are you, man? How have things been, obviously, for you during this odd time with the coronavirus?
It's actually been pretty good. I've been at home for a few months now. So with Forbes getting the job at Wake Forest, and for me having the opportunity to go with him there, it was just a win-win situation for me to be home during the coronavirus as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, big news on your front. You've committed to Wake Forest. We'll get to that momentarily, but I want to backtrack quick, and let's go back to your high school days. Obviously, a big-time recruit there in Winston-Salem. You choose to go play for ETSU. Kind of talk about your recruiting process. Who was after you out of the high school ranks? And why, in the end, was it ETSU and Coach Forbes?
Okay, yeah, out of high school, my top four coming out of high school, I remember it was ETSU, James Madison, Georgia Southern, and Wofford. And at the end of the day, I remember coming out of high school, ETSU had a lot of seniors on that roster. Like their starting point guard was a senior, the backup point guard was a senior. So I feel like it was just opportunity. Like opportunity was calling my name at the time. And I had developed a relationship with Coach Forbes quickly. I felt like he was a real genuine dude, so I feel like it was the best situation for me.
Yeah, absolutely. In 2 years on campus, you put up quality numbers, 9 points per game or over 9 points per game as a freshman, then over 10 this season. Now, obviously, things ended in a dramatic way. You guys had a terrific season, knocked off some big Power 5 teams, obviously on your way to a SoCon tournament championship. But then things came crashing down. The NCAA tournament's canceled. You guys got through. What was the vibe like around, your teammates, the coaching staff, the school, when you guys heard there was not going to be an NCAA tournament? And for a team like you guys that could have really made some noise, what was that like?
It was definitely heartbreaking. We were all devastated when we found out. Well, we kind of expected it as well. Like after they had canceled the NBA season, like we kind of seen it coming. And like we always talk about what could have been, you know what I'm saying? Like we really feel like as a team, like we really thought that we could go to the Sweet 16 and like make a lot of noise this season, like put a lot of teams on notice, put the whole country on notice that, you know what I'm saying, that we're here. So we always just say like what could have been.
Yeah, obviously you guys had a talented roster. Obviously Coach Forbes has taken a job in the Power 5, Wake Forest. You're following suit. Before we get to that though, there's other teammates that you've had. I look at Bo Hodges, a guy who transfers over to Butler. When Coach Forbes left, was there a lot of guys that were really wondering, hey, maybe I can take my talent somewhere else, obviously after our coach departs like that?
We all talked as a team. And at the end of the day, like we're a brother, you know what I'm saying? We're brothers, we're family. So at the end of the day, we all knew that we got to do what's best for us, you know what I'm saying? The same way that Forbes did. Like Forbes got an opportunity of a lifetime to be a head coach at an ACC school, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, everybody, we all had to, including Coach Forbes, all we had to do was do what's best for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And as mentioned, you follow suit. You're joining Coach Forbes, going home, so to speak. You'll play in the ACC at Wake Forest, 2 years of eligibility remaining. But you had Power 5 schools coming at you from all different directions. I know BYU was involved as well. At the end of the day, obviously you're from Winston-Salem. But why Wake Forest? Why were they the destination, obviously playing in the ACC for your final 2 years?
I think it's just a dream come true, honestly. Play at the ACC, play at home, you know what I'm saying? Like Wake Forest is about 10 minutes from my house. It's real convenient. Like just playing in the ACC has always been like a dream for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember growing up, I didn't attend plenty Wake Forest games growing up. So to be able to put on that jersey like I said, it's a dream come true. And I had to think about it as a business decision as well. My mama really emphasized that. Like, Wake Forest is the top 30 institution in the world. So, for me to get that Wake Forest degree when I'm done playing basketball, that degree can take me many places.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, Daivien, I would assume that you'll apply for a waiver. Have you heard anything about the opportunity to play next season at all?
Yeah, applying for a waiver is a possibility. But also sitting out would be too as well, because I can take that year, you know what I'm saying, get a little bit stronger, develop my game some more, and get used to the speed of ACC. I feel like I'm ready now, but like that next year for me to grow and like just get older and more experienced, it'll be like a game changer for my future.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely multiple ways to look at it. I know I've talked with many players that have set out a year, obviously grew from that experience, get to practice and get accustomed to that level. When you look at your game on an individual level, what do you think your strengths are? What are your weaknesses are? What are you going to work on over the next year or so if you do have to sit out to prepare yourself to play in a Power 5 league like the ACC?
Yeah, my strengths, I definitely say my speed and my playmaking ability. I feel like I'm a pretty good shooter, but I can definitely get that up. You know what I'm saying? So those are my main two strengths right there, is my speed and my playmaking ability, getting my teammates involved, being an unselfish player. I say I have to work on definitely get stronger, of course. I want to get my three-point percentage above 40%. And I think I should work on, like, being a leader, like leading my team, not just leading by example, but leading with my voice as well.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Now, this is probably an easy question because you enjoyed your time playing for him, but how big of a role did Steve Forbes play in your commitment to Wake Forest?
A huge role. That's my guy. Like, I got a relationship with him outside of basketball. Like, I can talk to him about anything, and that comfortability allows me to be comfortable out there on the court as well.
Absolutely, and it speaks volumes. He has had tremendous playmakers come through that program at ETSU. You'll join him at Wake Forest. But looking at the next level, obviously I'm sure you have goals of playing professionally, whether that's the NBA, overseas. When you're on the floor, when you watch games, who do you model your game after when you look at the next level? Are there certain guys you look up to and really try to strive to be one day?
Actually, to model my game afterwards, I think I don't really necessarily model my game after anybody. But somebody I really like to watch play is Bradley Beal. I think he plays a great pace. He's under control. I think he's very competitive. And I love the way Bradley Beal plays.
Absolutely. A superstar in the NBA there in Washington. Have you been able to talk to any of your Wake Forest teammates so far?
Yeah, I talked to a few of them already on social media. They're welcoming me with open arms, so that's good to know that my teammates are all aboard too. So I'm in a good situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to watching you, whether that's next year or 2 years down the road. Daivien Williamson with us here, the newest Wake Forest Demon Deacon commit coming from ETSU. You're following Coach Forbes. Daivien, I appreciate you joining us, man. One final question for you, I guess, is when do you plan on getting on campus? Is that going to be this summer, next fall? What does that look like? Obviously, the virus is still impacting us all. What's your plans moving forward?
That's actually a good question. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back on campus. The Wake Forest facilities are obviously still on lockdown right now. Campus is still on lock, so that's a good question. I know Coach Forbes is definitely going to let me know something here soon.
Absolutely. I'm sure you mentioned your mother as well. I'll leave you with this. I'm sure the family's glad to have you back home and close so they can come watch.
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt. I get to see my whole family at games. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, we're looking forward to watching you here at next one's. Daivien Williamson, formerly of ETSU, now Wake Forest guard. Daivien, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me.